Shalom, shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Abishai, Bahashem, Wakar Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations unto my fellow laborers. The confusion of face, Akim, join unto our ranks. To the hopefully elect and the Akwathium that are listening and learning. The brothers who risk their lives and their freedom to do this work. This is a continuation from a video that I did yesterday about the whole the Mgtow movement versus the feminism and the lbgt thing. All right. And the destruction that it's doing to America, which is supposedly built upon biblical principles, a so-called Christian society, which everything about America goes against what the Bible says. Hence, the destruction of the people. And one of the things that bothered me the most about yesterday was the situation I saw, and there was an Ephraimite woman who I'm going to say the woman probably looked like she was in her mid-30s or so. And she had two young girls with her that were either her daughters or her nieces, because you could see the resemblance, the family resemblance in them. The oldest one probably was no older than 12 or 13, and the younger one was probably about 8 or 9. And the way she had them dressed in all the lbgt flag paraphernalia, and basically taking them to this celebration, teaching these young girls, and they're just going to grow up with a warped sense of reality, and just be against what's written in the scriptures. And when they hear it, they're going to go against it, because masculinity in America is under attack. It's almost like a crime to be masculine. All right, and it's just like the television, the media is just saturated with effeminate men and masculine women, which is opposite of what the Lord set up. So I'm just going to play a couple videos, and the last one will be the one that I probably talked about the most in the video that I did yesterday. But it kept acting up when I tried to play it first, so the devil's always at work. So I'm going to try to get around Satan and make this happen anyway. But you know what? I'm going to start with a scripture. And the first scripture is Job 42. And it reads, "And Yahweh turned the captivity of Job, and he prayed for his friends. Also, Yahweh gave Job twice as much as he had before." So we're going to have twice as much as Esau has had on this side. Okay? And Esau is really starting to lose in his own kingdom, and it's because of his own policy. And every kingdom that goes against, the Bible, that goes against the laws of the Lord, always falls. All right. Next scripture is Isaiah 40 and verses 1 and 2. And it says, comfort ye my people, saith your power. So once again, the Lord is talking only to Israel. Everyone's not his people. Israel is his people. "Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her, that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she have received Yahweh's hand double for all her sins." All right, so we're going to get double the blessing, man. And as the scripture said, the other nations and the other people have nothing to do with this. All right, as it tells you in Hebrews, the 10th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, it says Yahweh Shai is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And it clearly tells you in Malachi, if I'm not mistaken, that Yahweh changes not. The Lord changes not. So trying to bring these other people into the blessings and all that other stuff, it's got nothing to do with them. Their blessings is that the heathens will get to go back to their own land after the whole deal is done. After the Lord comes and destroys America, reveals the Esau Edom, brings them out of power, places the true Israelites in power, and then the kingdom of heaven will be built up. So let's let this video play and get it moving.
A new study done by the U.S. Census Bureau shows Caucasians could be a minority sooner than previously thought. While the white population is aging quickly, Many white Americans are delaying their decision to have a family.
And I love the way RT just gets straight to the point, because when we watched the last video with Lorraine, which this whole video series was based upon, she says Americans, and that's another thing that Esau does. When they start talking about American this and American that, they're really talking about their own. When it's a problem, you know, when it's a problem that's hurting America, the way they say it is they'll say it Americans, instead of saying what the real problem is. If you understand what I'm trying to say. All right, they won't identify racial groups when they're talking about themselves. All right, but RT just let it straight up tell you that this is talking about white America, not America. Because if you watch the same story on an American news channel, it'll just say Americans. Because Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and the other races are having no problems having babies and having plenty of them.
And as a result, the population is decreasing and minority groups are growing at a rapid speed. Correspondent Ashley Banks has more.
For the first time in U.S. history, more white people died than were born in 2016. Data shows in 26 states, whites are dying faster than they're being born. Between 1999 and 2016, the number of white births fell by 10.8%. That stands at just over 2 million. Researchers suggest the reasons for this decrease are the Great Recession, a drop in fertility rates because people can't afford to have children, and a rise in mortality rates as most of the white population is aging and dying of natural causes while others are dying from drug overdoses.
And that drug overdose is a major problem. You know, the drug epidemic in America is an epidemic now because it's killing so-called white people. It wasn't an epidemic when crack and all these other man-made diseases, which in the form of drugs, were put into the so-called Negro and Latino communities. The crack devastated the so-called black community in the 80s, and heroin in the 70s and the 60s. And they weren't there before. Heroin was put into the neighborhoods. Basically, they brought it back from Vietnam. So during the Vietnam era, all of a sudden, because you got to remember too, in the 60s, Jake was getting riled up. Judah was getting riled up and starting to come against Esau. So what did they do? They brought drugs in and then allowed some of them to go to colleges and get jobs and drugs, basically. They say, okay, well, we got to give them something. So, but they make it work to our advantage. So the so-called Negroes that got elevated were puppets for Esau, and the rest of you got drugs and entertainment and false hope. And the entertainment was to let you see the so-called Negroes that made it, the few Negroes, Latinos that actually had made it, and it was a distraction. And then and that was to keep you busy in school or whatever, with giving you false hope. And the rest of you just got put on drugs, and then a few of you got to make it. And that's how Esau has operated. And now these things are being reversed upon them. They're falling, literally right before your eyes. Okay. So I just found it really interesting the way RT just tells it like it is. So let's click to another video. Wrong way, not that one. Let's go this way, I guess. Yep, this young lady right here. Her voice is kind of irritating, I have to warn you. Why it's just buffering like that, I have no idea. Like I said, it's been acting up all morning. I've never had these issues that I'm having right now with this computer.
Well, hi. I have absolutely no idea if anyone's going to watch this video. I'm pretty sure no one is interested in what I have to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I've been against feminism for as long as I can remember. I've never been in support of feminism. And the thing is, feminism is one of those things that just makes me sad, because it's terrifyingly sad to see the destruction of the society that I so fully love from my whole heart, to say the least. And I mean the West.
And what she just said, watching the West be destroyed, is disheartening to them, and a lot of them see that, and that's another reason for so much drug use and drug abuse among Edomites. Okay, because most of the people that are dying from it, a lot of them are in her age bracket, very young. You know, so it's hitting them. Actually, it's hitting them from her age bracket and up. You know.
I feel like the only way that you can really fight feminism as a man is to go your own way. I think that once men have gone their own way as a whole, in large groups, it only takes one crisis. It doesn't even have to be a large crisis for us women to wake up.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. Like the movie The Purge. All it takes is one crisis and the table is set, man. Esau can make this happen anytime he wants. All right? And once this society fails and there's no 911, you know, and the food and the water supplies are low, you so-called independent women are going to realize that you're not a man and you could never be a man. You're going to realize the hard way. You're going to realize the hard way that the Lord has set up order, which you have ignored. Let's read some of that. This is 1 Corinthians 14 and starting in verse 33. It said, "For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints." So the churches are for the Israelites, you know, by the way. "Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law." Proving that the law still stands, you know, because Christianity teaches that the law is done away with. All right? "And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the churches." All right? So there's an order of things, because a woman's role was not to be the leadership. The woman's role was to be the support and comfort for her husband. All right? But feminism destroys that order. It just does.